Well, it's a daily grind, Rusty and Luke. Where do they talk about today? Probably the Shelby gets it. Welcome to the daily grind. That's what happens every time I sing. I imagine every dog everywhere is like, stop.
Shelby's like, look, enough of whatever that caterwauling is.
Like, Jesus, is that, I know that's not Waylon Jennings. Get that guy the heck out. I am your host, Luke Hedmiger, and it is Friday. I didn't have Rusty with me the first half of the week, so we're doing back-to-back twofers today. How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. It is Friday. You know, I can't complain too much. I had a very short work week of just 2 days, and so, it's not bad.
No, but, dude, I feel bad because I'm like, oh, my God, I'm over the week already. And I had a 4-day week, and I'm already like, I wanted to fall asleep in the shower today. That's not safe.
Not at all.
Not
that's how accidents happen.
Accidents do happen.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying, like, I only worked 2 days this week, and I'm like, Brian, I'm so glad tomorrow is Saturday.
I'm like, you know what? Tomorrow's Saturday. I might stay up for the whole game tonight. I don't know. We're gonna see. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I might not get up early and rewatch it. I might just watch the thing.
Yeah.
Because the Grizzlies are playing again tonight. They are continuing this West Coast little scoop. They will be playing the Golden State Warriors, who one of our rivals. I would say the Lakers and the Warriors are like our two. That's who I would consider currently our two biggest rivals. I love playing this Warriors team. We will be playing them this evening in Golden State. The Grizzlies were treated to some pleasant news. First time in a long time where it is a pleasant surprise we've gotten from the Grizzlies PR notification.
Yeah, absolutely. A favorable injury report, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, Desmond Bane just popping up questionable, which we talked about this yesterday with Parrish. You get that questionable designation, that typically means you play. Normally, they get a doubtful designation beforehand and then upgrade it to it. But Dez just popped up on there.
Yeah, he said, screw your doubtful. I am questionable, and I'm ready to go. And I talk about this on the Two Buck Sports Show. I talked about this a little bit in my Bucks 2 cents yesterday that, these oblique injuries are weird in basketball. You don't get them very often. I personally think it's because we were slow playing their ramp up, and they just weren't getting in basketball shape. I'm excited to see him get back after it tonight. Probably knowing our front office, there will be some variation of minutes restrictions there. Like, I don't think he's going to come out and play 30, 35 minutes, and that's fine. It's his first game back, but I am looking forward to seeing what Des had, because when he came in the preseason and early this season, he looked like he was in great shape. Like, he came in ready. But these injuries happen, and again, there's some pretty good data coming out with this new league-wide load management thing that is causing more injuries. Regardless, it's a very favorable Grizz PR notification for the first time yesterday. I was stoked. And to quote The Wire, I want you to put the word out that we back up. Let's
go. Dude, a great show. It feels like
Drew's absolutely right. Jalen Wells being amazing made these two guys be like, yo, we need to go play before we lose our minutes.
Yeah, they were like, we
got to go.
We got to go.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a little bit of this in it. The fact that it's the Warriors, I imagine Dez, and it's the NBA Cup. I imagine Dez was like, look, I can't sit this one out. If he's going to, if they do the minutes restriction, he can come back and rest on Sunday because we play Denver again within the week. Do you think he starts tonight? I think there is a minutes restriction, but I think he starts. I don't think it's a Marcus situation where.
No, I think Dez starts. If Dez is on the floor, I think right now Dez starts. There's a lot of people starting to clamor and talk about him moving to a bench role. I don't see it happening, but I think that your starting lineup will have Desmond Bane in it. I think it'll have Jalen Wells in it as well, but not to skip ahead to our second segment yet, but I got thoughts on that. But I think we'll get Dez starting. I think we'll have probably 20 to 25 minutes of him, maybe 28 at the most. I'd probably say that'd probably be his ceiling.
Yeah. Do you expect Edey to start tonight, or do you expect to continue his trend of coming off the bench?
Based on who we're playing, they don't have a big lug. They don't have a big, Steven Adams type center that we would face. I think if Brandon Clark's available, I think Brandon Clark starts.
I think so too. I think that, and knowing in the past how we know how Brandon plays against the Warriors. We know that matchup. We know how that plays out.
A starting lineup of Pip, Dez, Jalen, Tripp, BC sounds pretty probable, but if not, he may, even though Huff had a tough game last time, I think he may roll Huff out as that starter again, just because the Warriors are so athletic.
Yeah, they are athletic, and of course we've gone. I mean, we've gone 8 minutes in the show, and I haven't said Stephen Curry,
the one.
We are going guarding the three ball has not been one of our. I wouldn't say we hang our hat on that so far this season. What were we going to say?
I was just going to say, what's so funny about that? Math, this is why math sucks. I was never good at math, and math's the worst because, if you add with all of the conglomerate of our games, we're the third best 3-point defending team in the league.
Yep.
But if you take the Portland game out, we're not even in the top 15.
God.
Yeah. That Portland game skews it. We're not a good 3-point defending team, and that's why we need Vince Williams back so bad, because the data is skewed by one game, the Portland game, where they were just abysmal. I think they were 4 for 52 that game. Yeah. And so the other teams that we've played, like the Lakers and the Nets and the Bulls that couldn't miss, they just beat us. So we need Vince Williams Jr. back for perimeter defense.
Portland shot 9% from three. Drew says, that's an outlier.
That's going to skew the data just a little bit. So back in school, grading on a curve, they would throw out your lowest and your high. That would be your lowest right there.
Get the heck out of there.
Yeah.
Wayno's touched on it too right here. Shout out to you, Wayno. Thank you for hopping on with it. It's your Saturday. Right? No. Yes. No.
Yes.
Late Friday. No.
It's late Friday night. Yeah, late Friday.
Yeah,
he's in the future, but not tomorrow yet.
I don't want to understand it. We've got great depth. This Warriors team has depth as well, although they will be missing DeAnthony Melton, which is, that helps them. We just need to defend. I'm going to put Wayno up here again. We need to defend the three ball more.
And that's where Vince Williams Jr. comes in, because we need him. This Warriors team is going to absolutely let it fly from three. That's what they do. That's what Steph's made a Hall of Fame, spoiler alert, Drew thinks Mount Rushmore type performance from Steph Curry in the pantheon of all-time greats. I don't necessarily disagree wholeheartedly, but this team's going to shoot threes, and we need Vince big time, because Jalen Wells is doing a great job defending the three, being a good defender, but he's a rookie, and LeBron made him look like a rookie. And there are going to be guys that are going to do that this year, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't hear what I'm not saying. Jalen's still a great defender, but we're talking all-time greats. And Vince showed he kind of has the moxie to do that. Jalen will, but he just doesn't have it yet. We need Vince back worse than we've ever needed him.
No question. And look at I know you're pro Wells. I'm you were on the Wells train earlier. We like Wells. We're big on Jalen Wells.
Nothing wrong with him.
But when you're playing LeBron James and Curry back to back, and you're a rookie, it's just that's a tough assignment for a rookie. No matter who you are, you can be the best defensive prospect of 20 years, and that's going to be a hard assignment.
Especially when you know that these two teams look at us a little bit different. They're going to throw their absolute best at us. They do every single time. We are in their heads. The Warriors, not as much lately. They hadn't been as relevant. The Lakers have been. It feels like a little bit more of our closer rival, because they put us out of the playoffs last time we were there. LeBron clearly thinks that game's important, because he definitely steps up, and we've had 39 and a triple-double the 2 times we played him this year.
Yep.
And so tonight will be that as well. I think the Warriors are going to play hard. I think this is the first game of the NBA Cup. I think it matters to the players who wins that cup.
Yep.
And I think we'll see their best shot tonight. So we need our best guys. So like Drew said earlier, thoughts and prayers for BC's toe, for Vince's shins, and Desmond's tummy ache that he had from his oblique. We need health.
Yes. And it's going to be the health that we're getting is back is pretty awesome, because we will have at this point, we will have Vince Williams Jr. We will have Marcus Smart and Jalen Wells, all three people that have shown they can defend, that we can throw at them, as opposed to just the one, as opposed to just having Jalen Wells out there. With Marcus Smart coming back and Vince Williams Jr. coming back tonight, we're going to have a full cadre of I think that's the word, of guys that we can throw at them. I don't know. I might be making stuff up, and that excites me. I'm going to throw this up there. How long before we have a Green and Edey stare down? What's the over under? Do you think it's first quarter?
Give it a quarter and a half.
Quarter and a half. Okay. And I agree with you, Wayno. Draymond Green is the NBA Iron Sheik. He is the greatest heel in basketball right now.
Yes.
And it's kind of great. I don't
And
like it when he plays us.
Yeah, he's still on that speaking tour too about like, oh, like Memphis offered me this and I was supposed to go there, blah, blah, blah. When we really didn't have the cap space to sign him to the deal that he's throwing out there at 3 years, 105 million, unless there was like a sign and trade and we were going to do some moving like that. But he's just like Draymond Green thinks about Memphis almost as much as we think about Memphis. And that says a lot. And I'm here for it. We're absolutely in his head from the old Steven Adams days, from all these times where we just punked on him. I'm here for it, and I hope that Edie and Draymond are that next great rivalry.
Yep, me too. I hope we see some of that tonight. Let's transition up in the next part of the show I want to talk about, because I just mentioned that we've got, and it's great. I love when the show builds itself. I've got Jalen Wells. We just talked about Jalen Wells, Dennis Williams Jr., and Marcus Smart as options that we can throw at the Warriors that matter. I've gone 13 minutes into the show, and we haven't mentioned Santi Aldama, who has been playing very, very, very well in these starting 3 minutes. We've also not talked about Gigi Jackson Jr., who is going to be coming back maybe not sooner rather than later. He's dealing with, but he's coming back. That's 5 guys, 5 options on the wing that can do a little bit of both things. I mean, Gigi's maybe more of an offensive-minded player, but he's going to get better defensively. It's hilarious because the first time that's 5 two-way wings that I'm like, yes, please. It's a good problem to have when you can't figure out who you want to start at the 3. I was thinking about this. I was looking at some stats. Like, who would you start? Who do you? Let's do this. Who do you think they will start, knowing this organization moving forward at the 3? And who would you start?
Yeah. So who do I think they're going to start? Marcus Smart, because they've invested so much money in him. I think he's the vet leadership that we need. He's still, for all of his offensive struggles this year, he's still an plus defender.
Yeah.
And it's shown that numerous times, even in the Laker game the other night. Like, he's played really well defensively. So I think he'll start. Who do I think should start long-term is Vince. Yes. Because Vince is Marcus with an offensive game. Like, Vince can shoot. I don't know if y'all remember or not, but he could go for a 20-piece in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And he can shoot, he can defend, he does all the things that Marcus does, but he's a better offensive player. He's younger, he's got more longevity. Luke, I've been thinking about this since you texted me last night that we were going to talk about this, and I've got a screwy lineup for you that I think what I would do if I was the Grizzlies front office. Everybody's healthy in a vacuum.
Yeah.
And two, like, I love Jalen and I love Gigi. The reason I wouldn't start them real quick at the 3 is, like, Ja and Dez, for all their good offensive playmaking, they're not great defenders. And we're going to need somebody to play defense on the wing. We need somebody. So that's why I think it's Vince. But what about we run out these athletic, smaller lineups to start a game? Ja, Dez at 1, 2. You got Vince at the 3, Gigi at the 4, and Jaren at the 5, with Edie coming off the bench.
Oh, wow. So you have Gigi and Vince both starting. Oh, man, that would be – interesting. I hadn't even thought about that as part of the exercise. Man, that is an athletic.
That would be my long-term athletic starting lineup, because we've been starting with more athletic lineups, right? Edie's been coming off the bench. We're trying to get in a rhythm early. Why not run out the most athletic lineup that you have?
And then you can do Marcus, Santi, Jalen, Edie off the bench.
Yeah.
DC. Oh yeah, God, man. Why do we have so many guys?
So much depth, man. It is great to have. But not to get too far away, because I want to know what yours are. Who I think they'll start is Marcus. Who I would want to start is Vince. What about you?
Who I would start is the exact same. I think Vince has proven that he is. You said it best. People forget how pinpoint he was from deep. Like the dude is a flamethrower when he wants to be, and has clamps for hands. He's a clamper. That's who I would start.
Yeah.
Who they will start, I find really interesting. I think it's between Marcus and Jalen, honestly. I think that they – or not Jalen, excuse me, Santi. Marcus or Santi. Because they like Santi. They like both. Just because of who the front office has shown they are and who they like. You know, they've thrown Santi out there, and he has – I was looking at the stats on cleaning the glass. Him and Marcus right now, it's early sample size. Like the two of them are playing about the same. They're in like the 77th, 78th percentile of the league at the 3 ball or playing the 3 right now. So That's and the organization knows what they have in Santi, and from his track record, not with us, but in the league, they know what they have in Marcus Smart.
Sure.
I just think that's what they would view as the safe options. I think Vince is. I think if you want to win, you put Vince out there.
Yeah, I mean that's it because Vince can score. He can go on a heater. Where Marcus, Marcus has been okay. Yes, Jaren doesn't do super well in the 5, but we're talking about a positionless offense now, right? Like we run that a lot. So even the 3 position here, like you're talking about, like Vince is probably your 3, but he may be guarding the 2 for the other team, or he may even be guarding Steph like tonight. And so it's a positionless offense. I think that like with the motion that we run, you could run out any guys in that 3 position and still do well. I mean, its offense fits Santi well. It fits Marcus well. He can facilitate. But I think we need defense. Like that's where we've been struggling this year is perimeter defense. And Jalen Wells has done great, but he's still a rookie. He's still got growing to go. I really think if Vince had came back for that Laker game, that you could have put Jalen on Dalton Connect and you could have had Vince on LeBron, and it might have been a different outcome. LeBron is still going to get his because he's LeBron, but Vince has a track record. And yeah, but like Connect's not going to go 5 for 5. No. When you've got Vince and Jalen taking turns guarding him, Jalen not having to worry about LeBron because you got Vince over there. Like that's a different outcome.
You're absolutely right. We may even win that game if that's the case.
I mean, we almost did
without him.
What we had.
Yeah, you hate playing that game of ifs and what, but like that's one where it's like Vince plays, it's probably a different outcome.
That's double. I think we win that game by double digits if Vince plays.
Yeah, because rookie Connect is probably eliminated a lot from that equation.
It is because then you can run Marcus and Vince can platoon LeBron. Jalen can focus on Dalton Connect, and he ain't going 5 for 5 then, and it's a completely different game.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I do want to shout out Wayno. He's mentioned in the comments about the vet experience that Marcus brings, and I think that is important, and that is almost more important coming off the bench. If you have someone who's not out, who's like seen everything and is able to like Marcus Smart could be a coach someday in this league. I think he's a really smart basketball guy. Like if he is willing to come off the bench like he did the other night, like I think that if you start Vince and have Marcus come off the bench, I think that could be like Manu Ginobili. Manu Ginobili had to make that transition from being a starter to the greatest 6th man of all time, arguably. And if Marcus can realize that the best for the collective is for him to come off the bench, might work wonders for this team, but I don't know.
I don't think he will. I agree. I think there's going to be a world where Marcus is the best option off the bench. Again, you've got Vince starting, Jalen Marcus coming off the bench. I think that's the best world, the best for all parties involved. We're in a transition period, whether we like it or not. You said it best many times. Like and Wayno said it in a comment yesterday on YouTube. Like we as fans have set these expectations that this is the championship season. When the reality is this window is opening this season, and we've got like a couple seasons given health that we're kind of cruising into. Yeah, we're in a transition period. Like we're growing up. Our team is figuring itself out. The last time we did that, we had a vet in Vince Carter. Vince kind of helped us transitioning from the core 4 into the newer age Grizzlies where we are now. And that's where Marcus is now. Like he's helping us come from that young, hot-headed, inexperienced team, helping us transition to be one of the more experienced teams in the West, given how much our core players should have played together if we had been healthy. Marcus is going to be that transitional piece for us. We need that veteran leadership. I still think he is traded at the deadline, but if he can help us get to that point as we're getting health back and getting everybody together, then shout out Marcus, then I think that's a good role for him, being that vet leadership that we need.
Yeah, you did say the T word trade. It does seem like I was reading an article this morning. It does seem like Marcus is one of the people that you're looking for a trade partner. The Grizzlies got a lot of money and a lot of players, a lot of contracts and a lot of players that can do that. There's a lot of options. This turned into a Marcus conversation. There's a lot of options with Marcus, and I want to say this too. The startup. There's so many options defensively to throw at teams, and specifically at the 3 position. And you remember watching this team where we were bashing our heads against the wall, trying to find anyone to play at the wing, let alone anyone that was a 3 and D wing player. So this is great.
To quote Anthony saying, we had a bunch of boneless wings and nobody could defend, nobody could score. And now we have the opposite problem. We're now the team once again that teams have to circle on their calendar. Like they're going to beat the crap out of us that night because defensively, they're going to be in our pockets. They're going to be pestering us, whether it's Marcus, whether it's Vince, whether it's Jalen, Tripp. Like there's a lot of guys that are going to be pestering you all night. You're going to have to bring in lunch if you're playing Memphis. And then now that we're getting healthy, we also have scoring for the first time. Like, we're top 10 in both offensive and defensive net efficiency without some of our best offensive and defensive players, which is wild. And hey, Drew, I hope you're listening. Shout out Taylor Jenkins for figuring out ways to make it work with what he has, because we're sitting at 5th best in the league at a plus 7.3 without our best offensive and defensive players. So again, like, I hope the NBA is on notice, like, watching us while we're unhealthy go toe to toe with LeBron's best shot and almost beat him, watching us go, beat up on the Bucks, who aren't as good as we thought they were going to be, but still they got Giannis. Like, I hope the NBA is aware that when we're healthy, it's like the X-Men is the juggernaut.
Yeah. I do want to. I see now. Do Laravia. I literally had in my notes that I was working on this morning. I was like, I brought up Jake's stats, and I was like, going to include him in the conversation. I was like, he's not starting. And I closed the window. I was like, I don't even want to.
Drew is proud to have planted his flag on Laravia Island, and when he's traded at the deadline and goes the way of David Roddy, like, I didn't even know David Roddy was an Atlanta Hawk. Like, it is what it is.
Either when he's traded or when he becomes the best 11th man of all time.
I like Jake Laravia. I hope it benefits me if he is the best 11 or 12, person off of our bench. But if Taylor Jenkins runs him out as the 8th or 9th man, I will write a sternly worded letter.
If he's the starter tonight, I will. What's better? I will throw my shoe at my TV.
That's it. Absolutely.
Be upset.
Listen, if you want him to start, we play the Sixers next Wednesday night.
Let
him start that game. Like, the only reason they would start him is trying to get trade film. And you don't do that against the Warriors. Like, this is the first cup game. Let's put a good lineup out there, and let's not let Jake Laravia play 33 minutes tonight.
Yeah, I mean, all that being said, like, we're talking about Jake would be an excellent 11th man. We used to talk about the Brooklyn Nets being the wing stop, where they had all these wings available. If they're like the popular wing restaurant, the Grizzlies are the wing restaurant that everybody wants to go to with the actual best wings in town, because we've got great ones that can do a little bit of everything. And when you actually look at the menu, you're like, well, I'll be damned. I want all that.
Yeah. They got lemon pepper and Parmesan and spicy garlic and buffalo. Let's go.
and what else is there? Teriyaki? I don't know.
All barbecue, all of them.
Yeah, give it to me. Now I'm hungry. We're going to take a break. I might get something to eat. I'm at least going to get more coffee. We'll be right back. And when we get back, we're going to talk about the weekend, because it's the weekend outlook. Ooh, I'm like a trailer. The weekend outlook right after this break.
I think Zach Edey played well. He got his fouls in. He got him in for sure. But we saw some flashes of really what he can do. Whether that's setting screens or just blocking shots or just making guys change their mind about shots. So just affecting the quality of shots that guys were getting in the game. We saw that a lot. They gotta use him though, man. They gotta be able to find him a little bit.
I was about to say they especially the whole first quarter. It was like, because I think that lob that y'all had him, that was his first points of the game. So it was like the whole first quarter, I did peep that. It was like, all right, I see everybody else attempting 5+ shots.
Right.
Y'all got to find a way to give Zach Edey something, like at some point. Everything was running well last night, right? The offense was flowing well. It's going to come a stretch of time where they're going to be stagnant. And at that time, that's when I expect them, okay, hey, let's run a post play to Zach Edey.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
This is a question I don't know if you've ever been asked. Was there anyone you ever wanted to dunk on?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad you haven't getting a big kick out of that one. I'm glad you've been waiting all day for that. Just waiting all day to get that little jokey joke in. Oh, you got a joke. But yeah, I always wanted to dunk in the game. That's what I wanted to do. And it didn't have to be on anybody. I wanted it to be off of a missed shot, like on an offensive rebound, so that everyone's around or in the vicinity when it happened.
Did you ever dunk in practice and get overly excited?
Yes. and everybody be like, well, are you going to do it in a game? I'm like, no.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Come back to the daily grind. Rusty, when you put your head down, your hat kind of like blends in with your beard. And so I saw you looking at your phone and I was like, is he wearing a mask? It was really scary. And I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is a bit. I don't know what it could be. I'm glad to see your face and not a mask.
Says no one ever.
Hey, be nice. You can catch both those shows. You can catch the Anthony Sane show. That'll be today at noon. You can catch the Night Court. That's not today, but the Night Court podcast. We've got the 2 Buck Sports Show at 3 today.
Yeah, don't miss today. It was like Uncle Buck and I had to air some grievances for about 30 minutes before the show started so that we could have a nice show. Just tune in. All I want to say is tune in. We talk about it at the beginning. Tune in to the 2 Buck Sports Show today at 3:00. It was a live one. Let's put it that way.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
We yelled at each other for about 30 minutes about Taylor Jenkins. So that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, I know what I'm doing this afternoon. That's going to be my afternoon viewing. And then my night viewing is going to be the Grizz 901 live show. They will be tonight, another late show. And then we will have Grizz. What is it? Grizz After Hours?
Grizz After Dark.
Grizz After Dark, not After Hours. After Hours sounds worse. Like it's adult stuff. But
you can do that.
No, we don't do that
kind of website.
That's what happens when you go to bluffcitymedia.com. This is bluffcitymedia.co. That's what we do. Shout out, I guess. I don't know if that's your real name, but I see you. You were with us the other day, and I love it. This is a good question. I don't know. We'll talk about maybe we talk about that on Monday. That might be a topic of conversation. But back to the show. On Fridays, we like to look forward to the weekend outlook. I say it in honor of Sean Connery, who I had to find out was dead live on this show, and it broke my heart. It's okay. Better by someone nice as opposed to someone yelling at me in the streets, because that would happen. But we look forward to the weekend. It doesn't have to be sports related. It can be. I'm going to be watching some sports this weekend. The Grizzlies will be playing the Nuggets on Sunday. I'm going to watch that. I've been enjoying watching college football. The Packers play the Bears this weekend. And as a Bears fan, I will probably be sobbing during that whole thing because, it's what we do as Bears fans. We cry.
The Packers. Yeah.
No, we cry a lot. And the big thing I'm going to be doing this weekend is I'm hoping, if everybody's healthy, I'm hoping to decorate for Christmas. I want to put our Christmas tree up. I think it's time. I love Christmas. And I'm probably going to throw on Planes, Trains, and Automobiles again this weekend. I joked that I was going to talk about it for Tube and Tuesday every week into November, and so far I have, because it's the best Thanksgiving movie ever.
Yeah, so Maggie hadn't seen that in a long time, and so we're gonna watch that at some point as we're heading into Thanksgiving season for sure, because it's such a funny movie, man. Such a funny movie.
Love it.
Yeah, man, it's officially basketball season for me. The Titans are going to get murdered by the Vikings this weekend. Mississippi State doesn't play, which we're not very good anyway. So it's basketball season. But got a couple fun things going on this weekend tonight. So Maggie and I have been working on a little project at her house, extending her back porch with some gravel and pavers. And she's got a solo stove, little fire pit. We're going to have our first official fire out there tonight. Yes. She's so sweet. She ordered this the solo stove package came with a Whistle Pig whiskey, which is my favorite whiskey, that was aged in barrels charred by solo stoves. So it's like a special edition that comes with the solo stove. So we're going to break that out tonight. It's going to be an awesome, awesome night. Going to watch the Warriors get beat tonight by the Memphis Grizzlies. And then on Sunday, Uncle Buck and I will be in the building at the FedEx Forum for the Nuggets game. It's one of my season ticket games. He's coming with me, and so we're going to go watch. It's the Sounds game, so we're going to go spend way too much money on Sounds gear, like buying all of it.
Yeah, we should talk about that too. It's the best gear. All of it. All of it's cool.
I love the coaching quarter zip with the little G. They've got a black hoodie with the G. They like the jerseys are out. Like I want the red hoodie. I'm definitely getting a flat build. There's so many good things. Like I just spent all my money at Universal, and I'm gonna spend the rest of it At the Grizz Den.
Yeah. Do you think we could do a Make-A-Wish? If there's a kid out there that is in need of a wish and friends, let us know, and we will put your name forward, and we will take the gear for you.
That's it.
That's
like this child is 6 years old, but he wears an adult extra large.
He needs an adult extra large sounds jersey, a men's adult large quarter zip, 3 flat bills, bucket hats if you've got them, just throw those in there. Maybe some shoes.
In there. I'm going to start a GoFundMe this afternoon, so be on the lookout. It's coming up on my Twitter page. There it is. Next show, we're starting to GoFundMe. Wayno and I had the same idea. So look for my GoFundMe later that you can support my gear addiction, because the reality is I buy stuff like this to wear on this show.
Yeah.
And like I was looking at my wardrobe the other day when I was packing to go to Universal, and I was like, sir, you have an unhealthy amount of Grizzlies gear.
Yeah.
There's more to come now.
Yep. When I got to the Dylan's Brook jersey in the closet, I was like, this is a problem. This is a problem. You know.
No problem.
It's and if you'd be like, why, yes, the child does have a size 12 adult. Don't
ask. Just know.
Yeah.
And you know, like Maggie said, like, you knew this was coming. And I'm like, yeah, I just thought it was gonna be jerseys. Like, I didn't know we were getting all this other extra gear that I'm gonna have to spend money on. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, and it's all the extra gear. That stuff doesn't always look good. It all looks good.
It looks
time.
so good. Yep. Like every single thing. It's just they absolutely nailed it, man. It looks good. It's cannot wait to be in the Grizz Den. Drew and I are like, look, we're going to get there early. We're going to spend a lot of time in the Grizz Den, and we're going to come out like with 2 giant bags, like going to our seats, you know, up in the upper. We're going to be sitting in the pinnacle level with like these like human-sized bags on either side of us.
You're like, I'm sorry if you can't see. I'm sorry if you can't see.
I like the kid on the bus with Forrest Gump, like seats taken.
Seats taken. Yes, you and Uncle Buck are going to be that kid in Forrest Gump this weekend.
Yep.
I'm going to be thinking about you guys. That's going to do it for our show today. Everybody have a good weekend. Take care of yourselves. Watch the Grizzlies win. Thanks for getting up with us this morning. Like I say it every day, I love getting to talk with you guys and getting to spend my mornings with you. It beats spending the mornings alone, and this is fun. We get to talk hoops. Have a great weekend, guys. If you're going to work today, be safe at work. Have a good day at work. If I can leave you with anything, like I always do, just remember these 2 things. Remember to be a little weird, just a little weird, and remember to smile. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.